Our angry sun, a daily show. Every day, without fail, the sun puts on a spectacular display of power and energy. It's a show that has been running for billions of years, and it never ceases to amaze us. The sun, a giant ball of fire in space. It's a massive, glowing sphere of hot plasma, the heart of our solar system. Its gravity holds the planets in orbit, and its light and heat make life on Earth possible. It gives our planet light and warmth, the things that make life possible. Without the sun, Earth would be a frozen, lifeless rock drifting through space. Its energy drives our weather, powers photosynthesis in plants, and provides the warmth that keeps our oceans liquid. But under its bright surface is a place of incredible power and unpredictable anger. The sun's surface is a seething, boiling cauldron of energy, with temperatures reaching thousands of degrees. Solar flares and sunspots are just the visible signs of the intense magnetic activity happening beneath the surface. Every day, the sun bursts out energy, solar flares, that we can't see, but our instruments can. These flares are sudden, intense bursts of radiation caused by the release of magnetic energy stored in the sun's atmosphere. They can last from minutes to hours and can release as much energy as billions of atomic bombs. These flares remind us of the huge forces inside our star. They are a testament to the dynamic and ever-changing nature of the sun. Each flare is a reminder of the immense power contained within this giant ball of fire. Most of these daily flares are harmless, just small waves in the sun's giant energy output. They are part of the sun's normal activity and don't pose any threat to us here on Earth. However, they are a fascinating subject of study for scientists who are trying to understand the sun's behavior. Our atmosphere absorbs them, making the beautiful northern and southern lights amazing light shows in the polar skies. These auroras are caused by the interaction of solar particles with Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere. They are a stunning visual reminder of the sun's influence on our planet. These beautiful displays remind us of the sun's power, a power that can be both amazing and dangerous. While the auroras are harmless and beautiful, they are also a sign of the sun's potential to affect our planet in more serious ways. But the sun's mood can change quickly. One moment it can be calm and serene, and the next it can unleash a powerful solar storm. These storms can have significant effects on our technology and infrastructure. Deep inside its fiery center, forces are building that could unleash solar flares bigger than we've ever seen. The sun's core is a hotbed of nuclear fusion, where hydrogen atoms are fused together to form helium, releasing enormous amounts of energy in the process. These superflares, as we call them, could cause big problems for our world that depends so much on technology. A superflare could disrupt satellite communications, power grids, and even pose a threat to astronauts in space. Scientists think a superflare isn't a question of if, but when. They are constantly monitoring the sun's activity, looking for signs that a superflare might be imminent. Understanding the sun's behavior is crucial for predicting and preparing for these events. We're still learning about the sun. Despite centuries of study, there is still much we don't know about our closest star. Each new discovery brings us closer to understanding the complex processes that drive the sun's activity. We're just starting to understand how it works, and what could happen if it gets really angry. The more we learn, the better we can prepare for the potential impacts of solar activity on our technology and way of life. As we learn more about our star, we also need to be ready for the day its fury hits our planet. Preparing for solar storms and superflares is not just about protecting our technology, but also about safeguarding our way of life. The sun's daily spectacle is a reminder of its power and the need for vigilance. The 2025 prediction: a solar storm bigger than ever. Scientists have been closely monitoring the sun's activity, and the data they've gathered is both fascinating and alarming. This isn't just any solar storm, it's one that could redefine our understanding of solar phenomena. The sun, our life-giving star, is showing signs of an unprecedented outburst, one that could have far-reaching consequences for our planet. Scientists at NASA have a serious warning. Their advanced instruments and years of research have led them to a startling conclusion. The sun's activity is ramping up in a way that hasn't been seen in modern times. This potential solar storm could dwarf anything we've experienced before, and the implications are vast. From the technology we rely on daily to the very infrastructure that supports our modern life, everything could be at risk. Their research says that 2025 could bring the strongest solar flare ever recorded. Imagine a burst of energy so powerful that it could disrupt satellites, power grids, and communication networks across the globe. The sun, often seen as a constant and unchanging force, is reminding us of its dynamic and sometimes volatile nature. This isn't just a theoretical scenario, it's a very real possibility that scientists are preparing for. This prediction has worried scientists and many others. The potential impact of such a solar storm is causing concern not just among scientists, but also among policymakers, emergency planners, and the general public. The ripple effects of a major solar event could be felt in every corner of the globe, affecting everything from air travel to internet connectivity. The stakes are incredibly high, and the world is watching with bated breath. Something like this could cause serious problems. Imagine waking up to find that your phone doesn't work, the internet is down, and the power is out. For many, this would be more than just an inconvenience. It could be life-threatening. Hospitals, emergency services, and critical infrastructure all rely on the seamless operation of technology. A solar storm of this magnitude could bring all of that to a grinding halt, leaving us to navigate a world suddenly thrust back into the dark ages. Our planet has never seen a solar storm this big in all of recorded history. While we've experienced solar storms before, none have been on the scale that scientists are predicting for 2025. The historical records show us that the sun has always been capable of surprising us, but this time, the potential for disruption is greater than ever. The advancements in technology that make our lives easier also make us more vulnerable to the sun's whims. The closest thing was the Carrington event in 1859, but even that wasn't as big as what NASA is predicting. The Carrington event was a wake-up call, showing us just how powerful the sun can be. Telegraph systems around the world failed, and auroras were seen as far south as the Caribbean. But the world of 1859 was much less dependent on technology than we are today. A similar event in our time could have far more devastating consequences. The 2025 superflare could mess up communications, shut down power, and cause problems everywhere. The interconnected nature of our world means that a disruption in one area can quickly cascade into a global crisis. Power plants could go offline, communication networks could be severed, and the economic impact could be staggering. The potential for chaos is real, and it's something that scientists and planners are taking very seriously. The world is waiting nervously as 2025 gets closer. People are starting to pay more attention to the sun, watching for any signs of increased activity. News outlets are covering the story, and social media is abuzz with speculation and concern. The sense of anticipation is palpable, and it's clear that this is an event that could touch every aspect of our lives. The countdown has begun, and the world is holding its breath. Scientists are working hard to understand what could happen if this superflare hits. They're using the latest technology to monitor the sun's activity, running simulations, and developing models to predict the potential impact. Their goal is to provide as much warning as possible, giving people and organizations time to prepare. The work they're doing is crucial, and it's a race against time to gather the data and develop strategies to mitigate the effects of a major solar storm. Governments and organizations are making backup plans, hoping to lessen the damage. Emergency preparedness is taking on new urgency as the potential for a solar superflare becomes more real. Plans are being put in place to protect critical infrastructure, ensure the continuity of essential services, and provide support to those who might be most affected. It's a massive undertaking, and the hope is that these efforts will help to cushion the blow when the storm hits. The question isn't if, but when this giant star will wake up. The sun's cycles are well documented, and while we can't predict the exact timing, we know that a major solar event is inevitable. The sun is a dynamic and powerful force, and its activity ebbs and flows in ways that we're still trying to fully understand. What we do know is that we need to be ready, because when the sun decides to unleash its power, the effects will be felt far and wide. The countdown has started, and the world is watching the sky with a mix of wonder and worry. There's a sense of awe at the power of the sun, but also a deep concern about what it could mean for our future. People are looking to the skies, to scientists, and to leaders for answers and reassurance. The coming years will be critical as we prepare for what could be one of the most significant natural events in human history. The 2025 prediction reminds us that our planet isn't very strong against the sun's huge power. Despite all our advancements and achievements, we are still at the mercy of the natural forces that govern our universe. The sun, in all its glory, is a reminder of our place in the cosmos and the need to respect and prepare for its immense power. As we look ahead to 2025, we must do so with a sense of urgency and a commitment to resilience. The Carrington event, a peek at the sun's power. This event, which occurred in 1859, is one of the most significant solar storms ever recorded. It serves as a stark reminder of the immense energy the sun can unleash and the potential consequences for our modern world. In 1859, the world saw how powerful the sun could be. The Carrington event was named after British astronomer Richard Carrington, who observed the solar flare that caused it. This event was a wake-up call for scientists and the general public alike, highlighting the sun's ability to affect our planet in profound ways. A huge solar flare, now called the Carrington event, exploded from the sun's surface. This flare was so intense that it created a massive coronal mass ejection, CME, which hurled billions of tons of solar material towards Earth at incredible speeds. The impact of this CME on our planet's magnetic field was both immediate and dramatic. This event, though small compared to what's predicted now, shows us the trouble a superflare could cause. If a similar event were to happen today, the consequences could be far more severe due to our increased reliance on technology. Modern power grids, communication networks, and satellites are all vulnerable to the effects of solar storms. The Carrington event made telegraph systems around the world stop working. Telegraph operators reported sparks flying from their equipment, and some even received electric shocks. The telegraph lines, which were the backbone of communication at the time, were rendered useless, causing widespread disruption. Telegraph operators got electric shocks, and telegraph paper caught fire. These incidents were not isolated. They were reported across multiple continents, demonstrating the global reach of the solar storm's impact. The event highlighted the vulnerability of our technological infrastructure to solar activity. Auroras, which are usually only seen near the North and South poles, were seen as far south as the Caribbean. These stunning light displays were caused by the interaction of the solar particles with Earth's magnetic field, creating a visual spectacle that was both beautiful and eerie. The night sky was filled with a strange, spooky glow. People around the world were both awed and frightened by the sight, as the auroras illuminated the skies in places where they had never been seen before. This phenomenon was a direct result of the intense solar activity and served as a visible reminder of the sun's power. Imagine what would happen if something like that happened today. Our modern world is far more dependent on technology than it was in 1859. A similar solar storm could cause widespread blackouts, disrupt communication networks, and even damage critical infrastructure. Our world depends much more on technology than it did in 1859. From smartphones and GPS systems to power grids and internet connectivity, our daily lives are intertwined with technology. A major solar storm could bring all of this to a standstill, causing chaos and confusion on a global scale. A Carrington-level event today could stop global communication, cause power outages everywhere, and damage satellites. The impact on our society would be unprecedented, affecting everything from transportation and healthcare to finance and emergency services. The economic and social repercussions would be enormous. The problems for our economy and society would be huge. Businesses would struggle to operate, financial markets could crash, and essential services could be disrupted. The ripple effects of such an event would be felt for years, highlighting the need for preparedness and resilience in the face of solar threats. The Carrington event reminds us how powerful the sun is and how vulnerable we are to its outbursts. It serves as a warning that we must take solar activity seriously and invest in measures to protect our technological infrastructure. Understanding the sun's behavior is crucial for mitigating the risks associated with solar storms. It's a history lesson we can't forget as we get ready for the possible impact of the 2025 superflare. Scientists are working tirelessly to monitor solar activity and develop strategies to protect our planet. By learning from past events like the Carrington event, we can better prepare for the future and ensure the resilience of our technological society. Today's world at risk, our network in danger. Our modern world is connected by technology. We depend on satellites for communication, navigation, and information. Power grids bring electricity to our homes and businesses. This interconnectedness, while a sign of human cleverness, also makes us very open to the sun's anger. A superflare like the one predicted for 2025 could break these technological connections. Satellites could be damaged or destroyed, stopping communication and GPS systems. Power grids could overload and fail, leaving cities in the dark. The economic problems would be huge, maybe even causing a global recession. But it's not just about money. Hospitals need electricity for life-saving machines. Transportation systems stop working without power. Food goes bad when refrigerators stop. Our whole society could fall apart after a big solar storm. The threat is real, and the risks are high. We need to act now to protect our technology and make sure we can survive this coming solar threat. We can't be relaxed anymore. It's time to prepare.